Hello everyone, this is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com and I am really excited that you're here with me today. We're going to be working today on a continuation of our beginners workshop. I started that series of videos because I thought that I had gone through a lot of learning while in this last 7-8 months since I've been a demonstrator. I have to say I have been a crafter for a very long time, but I learned a lot since September when I joined. I was used to, this is very interesting, I was used to being provided with dies by some companies, which are amazing. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm just saying I was just used to that and found out you can make most of those cards with your own, just your trimmer and making some calculations here and there. And so really, it's been a huge learning process like it should be. And I just thought I want to share what I've learned so far. And that is what these videos are for. So that's what we're going to be working today. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content of the channel, do hit that subscribe button. We are going to be learning today about blending. How do we blend? What's the best practice? Papers to use? All the 9 yards about blending. And in the end, you're going to help me guys to build the background for a card that I'll be making probably later this week. So thank you so much for being here. If you don't know, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and if you are interested in a catalog, please send me an email to maria@mariascraftingcorner.com, and I would love to send you a free copy of our annual catalog, or you can ask for the celebration catalog or for the mini catalog, and I'll show you those here in a second. So do send me an email. If you have any questions about anything, please, by all means, send me an email and contact me and we can chat. We can sit down and find out how can I help you, if I can help you, or if you just need an ear to bend, I'm here too. So let me move that off the screen. That said, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, do go to my website. I would love to spoil you. I have a very good reward system. And I would love to spoil with ideas, with inspiration, and some free gifts. So go ahead, go to my website and learn more about it. Again, if you have any doubts, just contact me. Let's go to the crafting table. Okay, here I have both our new catalogs. This is the celebration catalog, and as its name says, it is a catalog that shows all of our stamp sets and dies that are on sale for this specific event. Oh my God, I can't talk. So celebration is, I think, at least since I've been as a demonstrator, which is not a year yet, it is twice a year. And so this event, just Stampin' Up! Comes with a few unique stamps or dies or paper or whatnot. You'll see it all here that you will be able to get for free with your qualifying purchase. I'm going to show you this super quick. This is Hippest Hippos, and this is the stamp set. And along with it, you can get the dies. So cool things, and I'm just going to talk not too much, I swear. Stampin' Up! Does a great job at include whatever is in here either can complement each other or is complemented by something in the mini catalog or in the annual catalog. So these, just look at these, are awesome. These dies have all these little pieces, right? Not only do they cut our beautiful hippos here that are wonderful for coloring, by the way, but it has the umbrella, it has heart, it has this water, like this little boat. It has it all. It's just a lot of fun. You definitely don't want to miss it. It has paper. This is a gorgeous paper. These two, so for your purchase of $50, you will get this one. For another $50, you will get this one. So all I'm saying is for $100, you have a brand new set that you can use. You can have some beautiful paper, and I can tell you this is gorgeous. This paper is beautiful. There's cards and envelopes, which I think is super useful. There's another stamp here, and I am going to, this is probably one of my favorite dies. It's called Tree Lot Dies, and it has like this all, and I'm going to move it here so you can see this like all type camper. I just love it, and some trees. It also matches with another stamp set that comes in the mini catalog. Finally, I want to show you two last things. This is probably one of my favorite. It's a gorgeous, super delicate paper with this stamp set, and you will get both for $100. It's called Wonderful World. You really don't want to miss that one. Now, this is the host stamp set. So a host will get this for free. If you host an event during celebration, please let me know. And Stampin' Up always creates something special when there's celebration for you to join. So on top of your regular $99, so you get $125 for $99, they are giving you this for free, and I have it. I got it. I couldn't wait. It's just gorgeous. It has 3 little books. It has the agenda, all you need for the agenda to work with the agenda, and even a stamp set. And I will make like a bigger note later on in showing you how it looks. But this is part of your starter kit, and I think that is gorgeous, just gorgeous. Anyways, this is the celebration, and of course we have the new mini catalog, which I am not going to go into detail because it's long, but it has just gorgeous, beautiful options for you to look into. Again, if you want them, I'm gonna put it again just in case. Send me an email to maria@mariascraftingcorner.com, and I will absolutely love to spoil you. Let's get blending. Okay. So what do you need for blending? And I'm going to bring some of my blending brushes. These are Stampin' Up blending brushes. Of course, there's a variety of brushes out there. I'm not going to tell you which is better or not, because to be fully honest, I've tried very few of them. I do love Stampin' Up blending brushes. They're really good quality. I am hoping they will come up with smaller brushes eventually, so it's easier, of course, for smaller areas. Okay, so this is basically what you're going to do. You can also do some blending, and I'm going to bring them here with daubers. These are sponge daubers, are just a way to create some of that blending, and I'm going to work with you on that together. Okay, so let's start with what can you do for blending. I'm going to bring our pool party. I use this so often. This is probably one of my favorite colors for sky. And so we're going to divide this in areas. So I'm going to start here. So a couple of things you may want to, it depends on what you want for your card. So you may want to get your brush a little bit well inked, but I always try here first on the grid paper. And again, I know I've said this 100 times, having a grid paper is a great idea, because then I can go there and can start blending. Actually, let's do it here so you can see how the sky would look if you just do this. And I do that, like I check it over, I get it wet, go here, and then go over. What happens if I don't do that? If I don't do that and just go here, you get stuff like that. Let's do it again. See, or big splotches, big blotches. I don't know what the right word is, but by doing this, you avoid that. Again, that grit paper is amazing. Of course, something like that cannot be too bad, but it completely changed the tune, and it really looks like a mistake. So most of my skies, when I do little scenes, I do using this, the pool party, I really love, and blending brushes. And really, even if you, let me put that back there. Let's say you bring this is Granny, Granny Apple Green. I have, as you can tell, I have several brushes for each color family. So blues and like lighter blues. I have purple and so forth, because it's easiest. That way you don't have to wash them. You don't need to do that. You know, a few will do enough. So going back to the scene, where if you do that and, you know, go again, you just created the grass and the sky, right? This is very, very simple. And of course, you can use stencils with this. I don't have a whole lot of stencils, to be fully honest, handy, but you know what? I'm going to bring this and we're going to use this as a stencil. So that is our tree. And that's how stencils are. Really, actually, if you want to create your own stencils, you can use the dies and use some stencil, I forgot, mylar is how it's called, I'm sorry. And I'll be sure to link it below, because I've done my few. Let me go back and get them. See if I find them. So I made this with that mylar paper that I will link down below. I got it on Amazon. And all I did is placing one of our border dies. This is the cloud dies. It comes from in the basic sky. Let me see if I can find them around here. For some reason I can find them. But I absolutely love them. And just run it through my die cutting machine. And so now I have and I'm just going to ruin this, it doesn't matter. But if I go like that, I can create my own clouds. And we will most likely use something like that, similar at the end. And the other way is you can create like this. If you do, instead of cardstock, and you use that mylar and do this, well, go ahead. You go ahead and there you go. You have your own tree. Isn't that amazing? So again, you can have, blending is very, very useful. I love blending with brushes most of the time, to be fully honest. I'm going to bring this Calypso Coral. Daubers are just as useful. They are a little bit, I would say, slower, right? But you can create more or less the same feel as the cloud, as the blending brushes, and you can decide what you like better. Things that you can do really, really cool with blending is masking, and we'll probably do some masking later on. I am thinking of creating an eerie background for a card that I'm making for Halloween, to promote some of our Halloween in a new catalog. And we have masking, it's called masking sheets. I'll bring them. So what they are is, yeah, you heard it right. You create the shape or whatever, and then you'll be able to put this in the paper. I have found out that our masking sheets are a little bit on the stronger side. So be mindful of kind of taking a little bit off, so you can put it on and then you can take it off after doing some playful ideas there. And we'll work together towards that one because that's going to be super cute, I have to say. What else? Let's move that out there. What else can you do? You can, let me get, I think I have it here. You can stamp and you can color with the blending with the daubers. So where is, oh Jesus, I couldn't find it, I'm sorry. So let's pretend we're going to use this beautiful pumpkin, right? We're going to stamp, and it's not even really well stamped, but all we're doing is just practicing here. So with that same Calypso coral, we are going to start working our way there, and so you can create really interesting backgrounds. And I'm going to bring, just so we start working on what blending looks like. This is pumpkin pie. So, and I do that so that, I don't know if you can see it. Let me do this. If you do this, I don't know if you can tell, it, like the sponge can be looked through, just like you could see the brushes there. So if you do that, it's much easier. See, oops, you of course have to be a little bit mindful when you're doing daubers, but you're almost creating, and look at that, you're just creating the colors within that. For that pumpkin, and I really like it. So that's how blending starts looking like. If you're doing daubers for like an image like this one, you do have to be very mindful with the ends, and I will recommend that you use something different. I have not used it for that, but it's very, very easy to use. Now, man, I am not being able to close anything without getting myself dirty. So let's turn this over. Let's think of skies. I love the blending. I love blending for working in my skies. The brushes, it's just amazing. So let's think of a, how would you call it? Like a nice, I'm drinking coffee, people. So a nice sunset in the beach. That's what I'm thinking. So I have that Calypso coral, the pumpkin pie, I have mango melody, and I am even going to bring some polished, yeah, I think I'm going to bring a little bit of purple. Wish me luck. Okay, so like I said before, I have, oops, this one is fighting with me. I have a brush for every family color, not for every family color. Okay, so and to do this, I am going to start with the lightest, and the lightest in this is the Mambo Melody, and same as we have done before. Let's imagine we're going to work this way here. So let's see, we'll start slowly, right? Look how beautiful it looks. It already looks summery to me. Or maybe I'm just wishful thinking. Who knows? It's fine. I am going to bring this one and these two. So this one will be for the pumpkin pie. And I know it starts to look messy, but And don't mind that I just did that, right? But see, that's, we have to be careful with it. Okay. Then we'll bring that coral one, and I think I'm going to use this same one. I'm just going to clean it a little bit. I'm going to use that Calypso coral to get these a little further. Look how beautiful that looks already. Oops, not that one. And finally, I'm going to bring this one, and I'm going to be a little bit mindful with this. I'm going to bring it out, you know, darker on that edge and closer to here, less into the dark. Now what, that looks still a little bit separate, right? So let's, I'm going to bring a little bit of Poppy Parade, and I'll tell you guys why. I think that if, I know you probably know that if you mix and match, I'm looking for my red one. I can't see my red one, so let me bring one. There are colors that when you match them, they may struggle. So I'm going to put a little bit of this very, very bright red. So I do took some of it away. Because as you can tell, look at that. Man, is it bright. See the happy color. Because we know that blue and purple, red and purple are pretty, you know, within the same family. So now let's get this well blended. So what blending looks like is going back and forth between one color to the other until you have the exact look that you want. This is all about what you want, right? And it means that some of these colors will overlap each other, which is going to create that that feeling of overlapping. I'm bringing this one in here. And then I'm bringing the purple, and I'm starting from the top because I want it darker on the back, on the top, just like the sky would look, but lighter on as it goes down the page, right? And so as you can see, I'm now mixing and matching some of these colors, and we are just making those the color divisions little slower, a little less divided. And in order to do that, I'm going to bring our very, very, very red. And I'm going to go blend all the way to the top. As you can see, I made some mistakes when starting to blend. I was not paying enough attention. And we're going to go back to our yellow and go and blend in there. And we're going to go back to our pumpkin. And so we'll have to blend up and down, if that makes sense. So we're trying to create no division between the red, between all the colors. So in order to achieve that, we have to go back and up and down, just to create the same blending within all the colors. And I'm going to go back to, yes, our Calypso coral here. Because that brings a happy, happy medium. Okay. What do you think? So somehow I Oh, look at that. Well, that's not going to work. We're going to put this one in here. So good. And I guess I was using the one that I was using for... I'm changing these. So I got these from Etsy, if you're interested. I don't have them linked below, but if you're really interested, you can just look in Etsy and look for brush identifier. So there's that. Now let's get this a little step up. I'm going to bring a rag I have here. I'm going to move that a little bit, and I'm going to spray. And we just sprayed, and we are going to, and because we did that, we just created some interest in our paper, in our background. Look how cool that looks. And on top of that, you can even do things like putting flecking some paint. I'm just trying to look for the right words. And I have here some white paint, old white paint. I hope this works, because when I say old, I really mean it. And this needs to be a little bit watered down. So I'm going to use one of my blocks. I'm going to put some water in here. And I'm going to go ahead and water this down, okay? And so we're going to fleck this, and this is what we call flecking, right? I don't know if it's the right word. I hope it is. Seems to be a little too watered down, but it's okay. And so we're creating just some lights into it, and it just looks cool. Okay, look how cool it looks. Isn't that beautiful? So these will need to dry in order for it. We can put other colors. We can put black. We can put, maybe if you have some like purple color, that would look cool, I think. How about some gold? If you have some gold paint, you can use that as well. Again, it's just endless, and that's one of the beautiful things about paper crafting, is that you get to do all these beautiful things, and they are not really complicated. Look at my fingers. I'm not sure what I'm doing today with my poor fingers, but it definitely looks crazy. So many beautiful things you can create with blending. Blending is awesome. So for example, I want to show you, and I'm going to use, so let's say you have, let's forget that piece, right? Let's say you have a piece of cardstock and you want to put, let's say, these pumpkin, which this is alcohol blended, and I want to put just the pumpkin. How do I create some interest? So I could use some blending. Let's go there and put some blending like that. Put some color, not some blending, and then you can just put this in the back. I would use, actually, some of this more pumpkin, which matches, right? I shouldn't be using that one, but that's fine. And so you can just put this in here, and you already have an interesting background without a lot of work, right? So very simple way to really create awesome backgrounds, and just to give your card some extra dimension without a lot of techniques or weird things. So let me put this back in here. I have to say, guys, I really love this one. This one looks awesome. Okay, so that is, so we can create our sky, we can work with stencils, we can even decorate some of, images if we're more careful than Maria, obviously. We can use, again, with stencils to fill in, or with stencils like this to work on top. I'm going to move these 3 that I'm not going to use up in here. And so we are now going to create let me put that, I'm just taking away all the dangers because we don't want crazy. may use this later, so I'm going to clean it. Very important. If you're using stencils, always clean them. And this is the easiest way to clean them, is put some water in them. Like I said, I created this stencil just by running one of our border dies, or like you saw, this one was created with another die. So if you use Mylar and use any of our dies and run it through the embossing machine, you're most likely going to get a stencil that you can just play with. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. I'm going to turn this, I'm going to clean my little block here. I'm going to turn this around. So we start with a clean surface, and like I've said many times, that's one of the reasons why I love our grit paper. It just helps containing the mess. And so I have another piece. It's here. We are going to work on a card. So I'm going to be making a card that is called Staggered Stepper card. Now, let me show you how it looks like. Here it is. Isn't that cool? So I am going to create a background for this and for this. And what I'm going to do really is just decorate this 6 by 12 piece. I won't need it all, but I think that is just easier than me trying to calculate. And we're going to go ahead and use some of these, like I mentioned. I'm going to move my stuff because I'm pretty messy today. I don't know why. And I'm bringing my dies, and so I'm going to create a moon. And so I just want to make sure which die is the one I need. These will be good enough. So this is the one I need. Let me put this away before I lose stuff, because I'm very good at losing stuff. And I want to show you the embossing machine, and we'll talk about die cutting and embossing at some other point in time. It's a very useful tool that you can use if you're new to crafting. It's very, very useful. I absolutely love it. I cannot live without it. I do fussy cutting, which is just cutting around. If you have an embossing machine, use your post-it tape or some post-it similar. It will just help you tons so the die doesn't move, which is not a big deal in this case because it does not have anything, but it is a big deal when you're die cutting something like this, right? So these two are die cut, and as you can tell here, let me show you, this moved. So that tape is really, really useful. So I just die cut my little circle. I'm taking this away. Again, this is mask tape. This mask tape is new in Stampin' Up, and I'm going to create, so I'm going to put this moon here. Now, like I said before, my experience was that it was, that's the other side, that it was a little bit too strong, the stickiness in here, which is awesome, but it kind of was hard to take off, and we don't want that. So I'm going to move these here. I think that's a good spot, and we are going to start with this side, and then we'll move that way, and we're going to start this side so we don't mess with that one. And we are going to create an eerie background. So I'm going to use my Parakeet Party. This is Granny Apple Green, my Parakeet Party. I'm moving everything that I don't need out of the way so there's less mess. Let's see. Oh, there, perfect. So I'm bringing these two. I'm going to bring Garden Green. Oops. Let me see. We're going to use probably, I have some black here. I may use black. And we have some basic gray, which is our darkest gray. I'm going to have them here on hold just in case. And then I think, I may want some Bermuda Bay. We'll see how that goes. Okay, let's start. So here's the moon. So the moon is reflecting light, right? So this is going to be white, and that's why we left it there. And we're going to start. I'm going to bring another brush. That one's red. Okay, I'm trying to see what are my brushes. I don't know what I can find them, but I'm going to use these two, I guess. Well, wish me luck, people. If not, I'll have to buy another one. It looks like I may have to. Okay, so I'm going to start with my Parakeet Party, which is the lightest of them all, and it's also very, very bright. Okay, so I'm leaving a little bit of white around the moon, and so I'm going to start around it. Okay, back again and around it. So we are creating the illusion of light, right? I'm going to go over here and go around it again. And I'm going to put a little bit more. And we're doing a little bit more and more. And I'm getting closer to the moon, and it's fine, right? Because that's how light goes. It's not like light has this perfect circle. We just know that it won't go all over. Now I'm going to go with my granny apple, and I'm going to go around the first circle. Okay. So we're going to do it slowly, and then we're going to go back and use, this is dark, so I shouldn't have used that one, but that's fine. We're going to use this one towards down here, and I'm going to bring these to get some of that. I'm going to really see how useful this is, right? I'm just creating some light. Okay, now we're going to go back, and I'm really cleaning that to our parakeet, and go back in, and like I said, it's okay for it to be towards the moon. A little bit more. There. And now we're going to use the apple green, which is a little bit similar in color, but a tiny bit darker. So we are using that towards the edge. And again. And I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to bring our darker green for our new one for the darker green. And this is a new one. And this is going to be cut eventually, so I am trying to just go ahead with this darker green, and we even have a darker green that I could be using actually, but I think that this is a good one because it helps create that. Let me see, just want to make sure that I include everything, all the measurements. So okay, we're good. I'm putting a little bit of that green in here, and like we did before, we're going to go back to the Parakeet Party and back all over. Oops, that moved a tiny bit. And then we're going to go with our apple granny. And I know it looks quite crazy right now, but bear with me for one moment. I think it's going to look awesome. And now we're going to use this granny apple to really go over the garden green, so the darker green we're using, okay? And I'm going back with my parakeet party and really going over there. Okay. Finally, this is the dark one, yeah. We're going to use that to come over here and here to kind of really darken those edges. Now, doesn't that look spooky? I'm going to go a little bit more with my parakeet party and do some more blending there. Okay, I'm going to put these a little bit away. I'm going to bring a little bit, I don't know if I should do this, but just so to create some fun. Okay, now let me move this a little bit more. And as you can tell, it is about coming and going until you have that desired effect of what you're looking for, right? Okay. Now you got a really, really spooky night, moon, I hope. I sure hope it looks spooky when we come out. And I am blending a little bit more towards here. I don't know if you can tell, it looks very separated. Okay, now here is where it gets a little funny, and it is, we're going to use some of that gray to darken, moving this, to darken these, the edges. Because in the end, the night is black, right? So we're going to start with the gray. Oops. To create that darkest of the night. And then we will eventually bring the black. Okay, so let me see if I have a black one. You guys, I really think I'm gonna need to buy some others. Okay, now that's not cool, Maria. I'm gonna go to use this black one. So I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black, which is the black that Stampin'Up uses. Okay. And we're coming in with the black, because again, we're just creating that night, which is what this is, right? And I am using it here because, like I showed you, this is going to belong to that. And this piece is the piece that this is going to be in. So this is going to be like so. So we'll have enough black there. And I'm putting a lot of black on here. And then I'm going to go back a little bit to the gray. And then we're going to go back to our garden green. And we are really going to start blending those areas with the black. And I am going to use our parakeet coming from the moon to kind of unify that, all those colors. And I'm going to bring it all the way, again, just to create some uniformity And I hope you can see how cool it looks. And I'm gonna go back with the black towards the edges, of course. And I'm putting extra focus in here because this piece is going to be cut and I need to have some dark on the side. So that's why I'm doing this on this side. Okay. And then I'm going to go with my darker one, my darker green again with our garden green, and go back over that. And I'm going to use the lightest again, so the parakeet party back up here, just to kind of be able to blend it all. How about for scary? Now we are going to use or take our peek. And hopefully this did not get too sticky. Oh, maybe it did again. So we just have to be careful when we are taking it off. How is that? Isn't this super cool? So this is my tip for you, is go over with your blender with the lightest. So I'm just getting a little bit of that parakeet party and going over a little bit to kind of really undefine that as much as possible, that line. Okay, and I'm just going over it real quick. Isn't that cool? Okay, so this is one side. We're going to do the exact same thing on this side, but this side looks like this. So really it's not like a lot. So this is going to be very dark, and this is going to be like the main of the green is going to go here. We don't have a moon, so we're going to start with just going over. And I was just using the leftovers of what I had. I'm going to use we're going to do the exact same thing we did. Okay, and then we're going to bring the darker one. And this, I would say that the first, how would you call it? The first time that you are blending, that you're starting to blend, I don't know why this is not working very well. Really what you got is like, what you're doing is placing. That's how I feel. You're placing, I just need to see where this needs to go. Where the colors are going to go. That's what I think. So we're going to go back to the parakeet party, and then a little bit back to the granny apple, which is a little darker. And finally we're going to go to the garden green again. And I'm really working on those corners at the end. And I'm going to bring the black now. And I'm using some of that gray just to help with the darkening of the black. Let me see. And one of the tips when you're doing some of this, if you go from here, so start on your grid paper and go up. And so you will get most of the danger away. And sorry, I moved out of camera a little bit. And I'm going to try to do the same thing I did before, and that's creating that dark spot in here, which, as you can tell, is not as easy as you would think. And we're going to go black with our evergreen. And I'm going to really try to get this unified, although most of it we may lose when I cut it. But that's what we're going to do. And now we'll go back to our granny apple and go really, oops, on those. So we're definitely removing those harder edges. And back to our parakeet party that I think it's going to help us unify it all. And more black. And I'm going to use some of that gray just to take some fun. And then back to the darker green. So as you can tell, blending is about, like I said, going and going until you get what you really want, right? The colors, the texture, and whoops, wrong one, because that happens. And, you know, just exactly what you want. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to remove these. Where's the lid? Okay, there it is. I'm just removing all drama because that's what ends up being in my case when I have a lot of ink pads open. It's just a lot. And I am going to bring my little cloth paper and I'm going to spring a little bit of water. And I'm going to do that all over. And I'm going to go quickly and dry it. Okay. Okay, and now we have our, oops, that might have been a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, so this is exactly how this is going to look, more like this. This is going to be a tinier piece. And this is going to be like in the other side. And this card is going to have some really cool bats and some silhouettes. And it's just going to be super cool. What do you guys think? Do you like it? I think I want to use some white on it. And actually white and black. If I could find my black. Okay. I'm going back to, what did I put there? Here is my brush. Same process. We're going to put some water in here. We're going to put some paint in here. We're going to dilute it. I'm putting a little bit more. Okay, sorry. And I am going to flicker just all over. And that will create even maybe like the illusion of little stars, right? So the smaller of them will kind of be really taken by the same ink. Let me bring some black. find my black. Well, I could not find my black, but guess what I found? I found some green. And we're going to do some green. I wonder where my black is. Okay, I'm moving this because I didn't think I've used this in a very long time, as you can tell. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this green. There. And I'm going to even keep the white there. It does not matter. And just little bits. It will make a whole lot of difference. Wish I know where I put my black, because I really think that the black will do. So let me teach you another trick. Okay, we put some green that is barely noticeable, of course. I'm going to clean this stamping block, and I'm going to see the basic gray. I'm going to get my basic gray really a little corner really wet with basic gray, and then I am going to clean these with some water, same as we've been doing, nothing different. And we are going to get some darker. You see how cool the black, how cool like it gets, gives some extra like dimension, I think. And if I was going to do this, I should have not done this with that, but that's fine. So there you go. I just cleaned that. Let me clean that again. This cube. What do you think? Isn't this a super cool background? Don't miss my video. I hope you enjoy this. Backgrounds are really simple to create with blending brushes. Don't be afraid. I know we all get sometimes scared about it, but let me tell you something that is real, and it's paper. If it doesn't work, you turn it over and start again, right? That's the reality. You just turn it over and start again. And the more you practice, the better. And so in that sense, do practice when you are not creating something. Just like what we did here, right? Just sit down with your blending brushes and work with them and see what you achieve and what you can achieve and what you would rather do and so forth, you know. Create simple backgrounds with just one color and feel comfortable with that, and then start playing with some of those stencils. Stampin'Up's beautiful stencils. I just don't have many of them, to be fully honest. I don't know why, because I really like blending. And most importantly, you can create your own stencils using our dies and some Mylar, again linked below, and just run it through the embossing machine, and you will, boom, have a, like in 2 seconds, have your own stencil. Okay, well, I do hope that you like this video and it was informative, that you got something out of it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You know how it helps us here in YouTube. I would appreciate it. And I'm just putting my stuff here so I don't lose them, really. So I was saying, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate if you did. And let me know if there's anything I can do for you. If you feel you need you have questions or doubts, don't hesitate to reach out. Just Maria at mariascraftingcorner.com. I would love to chat with you, to guide you through what I know, which, by the way, I say that with, you know, like, we'll be just working together. That's what it is. We'll be working together to make things together and to get creative. So again, I hope you like the blending class, quote unquote, and do reach out if you need anything. Don't forget to go and visit my blog, mariascraftingcorner.com. And I do hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.